I'm hoping that at least you guys can enjoy this, because it's probably fucked me up for life. It's seeming a lot more absurd as time passes. 12 days since I moved my shit into my friend's place, so I want to get this out there and have people call bullshit and pass judgment, because I think it'll make me feel better. I moved out all my stuff. I've already called the cops and informed my absentee landlord. I've done all the proper things, so there's nothing left to do but share my little fucked up city living story. About 6 months ago, my girlfriend and I moved into an apartment in Benton Park neighborhood of St. Louis. About 2 weeks after we moved in, her grandfather, who raised her, has a fucking stroke, and she ends up going home to Twin Oaks to take care of him. She was living with him full time until we could find out how to afford a nurse or hospice. Anyway, I'd been living in our one bedroom all alone for the last half a year. It's beautiful, newly remodeled, double pan windows, great insulation. The best a couple of hicks turned yuppies would want. It's got a couple of weird things about it, and you'll see. There's only 4 units in the building, on the second and third floors, and we're on the top floor. The first weird thing about the place we noticed right when we moved in, the walls and floors are paper thin. I could hear every word of my downstairs neighbor's conversation at all times. I knew when they would take a shower, I knew when they fuck, and I'm sure that they knew the same thing about us. It's weird. The more info that we had on each other, the less we wanted to actually know each other. And they moved out 6 weeks ago. Then the other 2 units went vacant a few weeks later. And it was kind of weird, but also kind of awesome. I could finally stomp around, watch porn, play Rock Band at full volume. And about 4 weeks ago, it got real weird. It was about 1 a.m. and I was going to bed, and I started to hear this noise from the empty apartment downstairs. It was really quiet at first, but substanced. It sounded halfway between a hushed conversation with only one person talking and a small motor running, just a babbling, not quite regular drone. Freaked me out at first, but then I rationalized that it was some plumbing or the refrigerator downstairs, something that I'd never heard over my downstairs neighbors farting and snoring. I learned to live with it, as it rose and fell every evening, and pretty soon a steady tapping sound started in with mumbling. I know it sounds fucked up, but when you hear it every night for a while, you just make excuses for it. Then I kept hearing boards creaking. I mean, it's spring, my first in this building, so I assumed that it was just the old boards under the new drywall settling. And then one night, as I'm brushing my teeth, there was a mighty dry thump right behind me. I just about stabbed myself with my toothbrush. I stayed really still till I was sure there wasn't anyone in the house, and then I turned on all the lights. This is when I noticed the peculiarity in remodeling. On the other side of the bathroom where I hear the thump is the hall closet, and I open it up and switch on the light, expecting a box to have fallen off the shelves. But it's all gravy inside, and I tap on the wall between the closet and the bathroom. And it sounds oddly hollow. And I start to realize that the closet isn't as wide as I think it should be based on the bathroom. I pace it out with my feet, and then a tape measure just to confirm, and sure enough, there's about 30 inches of space between the 2 walls that I thought were adjacent. Again, rationalization time. Surely there isn't extra insulation there to keep the bathroom warm, or maybe walls are thicker than I imagined, because, fuck, I've never built a house, so in this one thick wall, some huge fucking rat must have taken a tumble and freaked me out. Oh, okay, no big deal. I felt a lot better at the time. Even better when it was the first night in a while without the weird noise below me. So everything's fine. Until last Friday night. It's about 2 in the morning, and I'm home late from the bar, not as drunk as I want, and remembering that I left all my clean laundry in the dryer before I went out. One thing sticks out as I climb the stairs. The door to the apartment below me is closed. It's been open since the neighbors vacated. I got kind of used to seeing an empty mirror image of my place every time I walked past it. Maybe the landlord was showing it to the people today. Rationalize. I bag up a small load of laundry and climb down the back porch steps to the laundry room, which is really just part of the garage, but the staircase is on the outside of the building, and it gives each floor a little shared porch. I get down there and into the little room, and I start bagging up all my clothes into this big black duffel bag. 2 things you should know about me at this point. I turn off every light when I leave a room. My dad used to beat the shit out of me whenever the energy bill was a penny over the norm. And I also lock the door every time that I go through it. Hell, I even locked the back door when I went down to get my laundry. I start back up the stairs, and on the first flight I look up, straight to my bedroom window. The light is on, and there's a silhouette against the closed blinds. I pissed myself a little, and every hair on my neck snapped to fucking attention, and then the light goes out. It happened in less than a second. 10 seconds later, I'm still frozen in place and trying to figure out if I just saw what I think I saw. Rationalization lost out, thank fucking God, and I snuck down the stairs and out through the garage. I call a cab and stood across the street from the building, looking at my living room window. About 5 minutes before the cab shows up, the Venetian blinds parted slightly for a few seconds, like someone was looking down on me. Then nothing. I stayed at a hotel that weekend. Then a couple of buddies of mine came back with me on a Sunday to see how much stuff had been stolen. It was all there. My laptop was still charging, my brand new plasma TV. The doors were locked. I moved it all out that afternoon while my friends were with me and I had the daylight on my side. I checked out the apartment below me. The downstairs closet had the same abnormally thick wall. Only someone had hammered through this wall. A big, round, jagged hole exposing the tiny crawl space between. And in this space, flat against the wall, was a cheap hardware store ladder leading up through the darkness to the space between the walls in my apartment. I don't know how he got into my apartment from there. Maybe through the heating vents in my ceiling. I don't give a shit. All I care about is never seeing that building again. I mailed my keys to the landlord, told the whole thing to a terminally disinterested cop, done my part, moving on, quit my shitty job, which might be the one good thing about this. I'm recording this at a friend's house, uploading it on his Wi-Fi. I'm going to take this convenient time to get the fuck out of Dodge and move in with my girlfriend and her grandpa. But he died 2 nights ago. Still think I'd like to head back into the country, but I guess this is like a clean slate for us. I haven't told her yet. I'm not sure if I will. I told her our landlord went apeshit and kicked me out. She already got issues with security, and I don't want to add to them, but I don't ever want to live in an apartment to hear people moving beneath my feet or on the other side of a wall. Never again.